We won the lottery.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Sons of Vancouver YouTube channel. I'm James.
I'm Max.
And I'm Jenna.
And we are very excited to try Pappy Van Winkle 15-year-old. If you don't know Pappy Van Winkle, it's one of the world's rarest bourbons. It is in British Columbia. The liquor board is allotted a certain number of bottles every year. We all entered into the lottery and my name came up.
I've got a golden ticket.
There were about 15 of them available in British Columbia.
When you say 15 available, that was just for the 15-year Pappy, right?
Yes, that's just for the 15. So I believe there were 8 available of the 23-year-old.
I would like to make this very clear for anyone who is watching from the US. If it's hard to find Pappy in the US, it is a million times harder in Canada. We don't have an open market here. The government controls the market largely, and so it gets doled out by
lottery.
BC, what is it called? BCLC?
BC Liquor, yeah.
Everyone enters every year, you never win, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
They started the lottery like 3 years ago, and in 2019 was the last year without a lottery, and people lined up 14 days early
That's
to
insane.
buy Pappy.
They basically had to move to a lottery because people were crazy and just camping out in front of
Yeah,
stores.
there was a snowstorm, and I think someone died.
I'm afraid to die anymore.
For interest's sake, I got this bottle for $3.75 all in on taxes. That might also be interesting to any Americans who are watching because you probably paid a heck of a lot more.
I actually looked up Waddington's just had a fine spirits and wine auction, and a bottle of the 15-year sold for $4,000.
Well, without further ado, here we are.
I can hear the money
You know it's good.
deflating.
It smells good now. For Jenna.
Whoa, Max.
Now, the danger with these whiskeys is that you've built it up so much that it can't possibly hold a candle to the idea in your head of how it's going to taste.
It is, it's very soft on the nose. I get kind of like a grape, almost like a cognac or a wine.
53.3% alcohol.
53.3%.
My first impressions are very oaky. Something you'd find like younger whiskey, you'd get the impression that it was in a number 4 char. Something this old probably wasn't in a number 4 char, but just given the age, it's comparable on the nose. I haven't tasted it yet. Incredibly well balanced.
I'm going to say Max hit it on the nail on the head, saying that it's like a cognac almost. It's like
leathery.
I mean, it's got a lot more of the notes that you'd expect from a bourbon. And on the nose, you get like a little bit of like that sort of tails hit of like either came off a pot still or came off of a continuous still where they're pulling some of the tails out. But on the palate, like it has that sort of cleaned up feel of a cognac where like it's been sitting in the barrel for so long that it was able to like properly ventilate and properly interact with the oxygen. And it
Tremendous amount of dried fruit on the nose like you'd get in a cognac.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And
That you
leather
get-
as well.
You get a
to
lot
Max's
of like
point.
the dried raisin and grape and stuff that you'd get out of a cognac.
Ultimately, it's the scarcity that you pay for and the cachet, but it's a fantastic bourbon.
I mean,
There's
talking about like it's a $320 bottle, $350 bottle.
$330 then tax of a substantial amount of tax.
I think it's well priced for what it is. I think if I bought this bottle for $2,500, then I might not feel
That's
the
a
same
good
way.
point.
But,
That's
No. We'd appreciate it more if we paid more money.
Yeah.
I'm just tasting it now for the first time, and there's a tremendous amount of fruit on
Yeah.
there. There's a lot of like, maybe more marzipan than I've ever actually gotten in a whiskey before. And then it really leads from marzipan into cherry, but not like wild turkey cherry, not the cherry you get in like number 4 char. It leads into like marzipan cherry, like cherry pit. The older they get, the lower ABV they get, is probably to balance the oak out. I could definitely see how at a higher proof this would be considered over oaked or unbalanced.
That's what I was gonna say too. That like maybe stretching out the bottles, but my guess is no. My guess is that it begs a lower ABV.
Yeah.
I will say the really compelling thing about this whiskey is that every time I go back, it changes a little bit, which is something that I really like about spirits or beer or wine or whatever, is like when you get a lot of expressions within sort of one bottle, that you open it, it's something that it's exposed to air, tastes a little bit differently, that maybe it warms up a bit, it tastes a bit differently. Like
I've been warming this up a little bit, trying to pull some other flavors out, maybe a little bit more fruit. It's definitely brought out a little bit more of that the burnt rubber that you're talking about.
there's a lot of like hay and sort of like dead grass, or like a vegetal smell, but not green vegetal, like brown vegetal. Yeah, it's probably the oakiness that's doing it, but it's interesting. At first I thought maybe it was like a menthol or like herbaceous, sort of like a gentian note or something like that. Or like,
Gentian sounds right. Yeah, the bit of bitterness with a...
Like a French aperitif.
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting. It's a to say the very least, if whether you do or you don't like it, this is a very original expression of bourbon that's true to its style, and it's pretty intriguing.
yeah, I think if obviously if you have a chance to buy a bottle, you're gonna, but it's well worth the money. Would I buy it for, thousands of dollars? Probably not. I don't think that it begs that price tag in quality, but obviously in name and in value it does. So how many Pappies out of 10 Pappies?
8.5 Pappies.
James?
9.5 Pappies.
I'm gonna go 9 Pappies.
Wow.
Just enough Pappies.
I really liked it. I can't believe I scored it lower than you guys.
Thank you, Pappy, for the whiskey.
Yes, that was fantastic.
The moral of the story is always enter lotteries.
Yes.
Thank you, BC Liquor. Don't
you
forget
so
to
much.
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.